Almost everything you believe about transformation is wrong, and the advice that feels right is exactly why you keep failing. You know someone who did it differently. They disappeared. No posts, no updates, no explanations. 6 months later, they came back completely different. New body, new business, new life. While everyone else who announced their goals on January 1st quit by February. Here's what nobody tells you. The people who actually transform themselves do the exact opposite of what you've been taught. And if you keep following the advice that feels right, you'll keep getting the same results. In the next 8 minutes, I'm going to show you why 90% of transformations fail in the first month, and the exact pattern the other 10% follow. The ones who disappear, do the work in private, and come back unrecognizable. This isn't about motivation. It's about understanding how transformation actually works. Let's get into it. Here's the uncomfortable truth. You can't transform yourself while everyone is watching, and the fact that you've tried multiple times and failed isn't a coincidence. When you announce your goals, something happens in your brain. You get a dopamine hit just from talking about it. Your brain treats the announcement like an achievement. You haven't done anything yet, but you already feel like you have. Derek Severs explains this in his TED Talk. The moment you tell people your goals, your brain experiences what psychologists call social reality. It believes the identity shift has already happened just because other people know about it. But you hadn't changed anything. Here's the deeper problem. Once people know who you're trying to become, they hold you to who you were. Your family still sees you as the person who never finishes things. Your friends still make the same jokes. Your coworkers still expect the version of you that shows up late. You're trying to build a new identity while everyone around you is reinforcing the old one. And if announcing your goals actually worked, Instagram would be full of success stories instead of abandoned New Year's resolutions. People who successfully transform themselves understand this. You can't build a new identity in the same environment that created the old one. People who radically transform themselves follow a pattern, and it always starts the same way. They vanish. Not forever, but long enough. Stanford researchers ran a study with 2 groups trying to make major life changes. Same goals, same resources, same starting point. One group stayed visible. They posted updates, told friends, stayed connected. The other group went quiet. They deleted apps, stopped explaining, and disappeared. 6 months later, the second group had transformation rates almost 8 times higher. The difference wasn't discipline. It wasn't motivation. It was invisibility. Here's someone who did exactly this. Chris Pratt. In 2013, he was the funny fat guy on Parks and Recreation. Then he disappeared for 6 months. No social media, no public appearances, just private training with a specific goal. When he came back for Guardians of the Galaxy, no one recognized him. He didn't announce a fitness journey, he didn't post progress photos. He disappeared, did the work, and revealed the result. The point isn't Hollywood, it isn't money, it isn't trainers. The point is that the work happened without an audience. That's the pattern. When you disappear, 3 things happen. First, you remove external judgment. No one is watching you stumble. No one is asking how it's going while you're still figuring it out. You're free to fail privately. Second, you eliminate social reinforcement of your old identity. Your friends can't make the same old jokes. Your family can't give you the same old advice. You get to decide who you are without constant input from people who benefit from you staying the same. Third, you create space for deep work. No content creation, no updates, no performance, just transformation. Quick question. When was the last time you tried to change something major while posting about it? Every person who's made a radical transformation went through a period of invisibility first. They didn't document the process. They disappeared into it. Transformation isn't a performance. It's a private revolution. You can't become a different person in the same environment. Same apartment, same friends, same routines, same city. You'll get the same version of yourself. Your environment isn't neutral. It's actively shaping you every single day. Neuroscience shows your brain creates different versions of you based on context. One person at work, a different person with your family, a different person with old friends. These aren't fake versions. They're context-dependent selves. The environment triggers which version shows up. If you want to become someone completely different, you need a completely different context. That's why people who transform themselves change everything at once. New city, new job, new social circle, new routines. It sounds extreme, but small environment changes create small identity changes, and total environment changes create total identity changes. Think about someone who moves to a new country and becomes fluent in a new language. They don't do it by practicing 30 minutes a day in their hometown. People who successfully transform don't fight their environment, they change it. Talking about your goals is a form of resistance. Every explanation invites opinions, advice, doubt, and questions. And every conversation about your transformation is energy that could have gone into the actual work. Research from Stanford shows people who kept their changes private were significantly more likely to maintain them long term. Why? Because they weren't defending their choices. They were executing them. Every time someone asks why you're doing this, you justify it. Every time someone says, "Are you sure?" you defend it. That's cognitive load. That's emotional labor. That's energy that could have built the new you. People who disappear and transform understand this. They don't explain. They don't justify. They don't defend. They quietly become someone else. They don't tell you they're changing. They just show up different 6 months later. Silence isn't avoidance. It's protection. Protection of your energy, your focus, and your fragile new identity. When you disappear to transform, you're not just removing old influences, you're rehearsing a new identity. And rehearsal requires privacy. Actors don't practice their character in front of an audience. They rehearse in private until it feels natural, until they're not performing anymore. They're living it. Your transformation works the same way. You try on the new version of yourself, you fail at it, you adjust it, and you refine it in private. Over time, the rehearsal becomes real. The performance becomes your personality. The person you're trying to become just becomes who you are. Research from Yale shows identity change requires what they call identity play, the freedom to experiment with new versions of yourself without social consequences. You can't do that on Instagram. You can't do that while explaining yourself to people who benefit from you staying the same. So you disappear, you rehearse, and when you come back, it's not a performance anymore. It's just who you are. Remember the pattern behind why 90% of transformations fail? This is it. Most people reveal change too early. Progress photos at week 2, new habits at week 3, new businesses before they are profitable, and that kills the transformation. When you reveal change before it's solidified, you invite the world to validate or invalidate it, and most of the time, the world invalidates it. Suddenly, you're defending something that hasn't happened yet. Research from the University of Chicago found people who revealed their changes after completion had maintenance rates above 85%. People who revealed them during the process fell below 40%. Don't reveal until it's irreversible. Don't tell people you're getting in shape. Show up in shape. Don't tell people you're starting a business. Show up with revenue. When the transformation is complete, you don't need to announce it. It announces itself. The transformation isn't complete until you return. Disappearing is half the pattern. Coming back as proof is the other half. When you return, you're not explaining what you did. You're demonstrating what you became. Transformation isn't a story you tell. It's a reality you create. So here's what it comes down to. People who transform don't announce it. They disappear. They change their environment. They protect their energy with silence. They rehearse the new version in private. And they don't reveal anything until it's irreversible. Most people will watch this and post about their next goal tomorrow. If you're serious, you won't. Right after this video, identify one thing you need to remove from your environment. Delete one app, cancel one subscription, remove one trigger. Don't comment what it is. Just do it. Then come back in 90 days and tell me what changed. Because understanding the psychology of transformation means nothing. Disappearing into it is everything.